Steve Stack with the Honorable Armand Hussein, the chairman of the board of H&H Associates, and we'll be talking to him in just a moment. Let me tell you what we've got for you this exciting hour of Texas-style wrestling from Texas All-Star Wrestling. You'll see the Cowboy Scott Casey going into the ring to meet the Golden Boy. And for you fans who are wondering about, is Scott Casey the Texas Long Rider? Well, the Texas Long Rider is going to be in Scott Casey's corner in that match. The weightlifting contest, which I'll be talking to Armand Hussein about in just a moment, is here. Big Bubba going up against the Zambui Express. There's $4,000 on the line. Polish Power Ivan Putski is back. You'll see the Masked Grappler, Bruiser Brody, tag team action, Senor, Lucha, and more. Don't go away. The hour of excitement is about to begin. Honorable Armand Hussein, a weightlifting contest last week. Bubba couldn't pick it up because of the shoulder injury, but this week it may be just a little different.
Well, you say the shoulder injury, or whatever you may put it, you see, but what you can't understand the fact that the Zambui is one of the strongest men in the world, and he proved to the world how strong he really was. Now, I didn't let him go to the full extent because I wanted him to save his energy for the match later on. But you see, the Zambui, he proved to the world what he said, and that was that he's one of the strongest men in professional wrestling, and he did just that.
Well, not only in the weightlifting contest today, you'll have the Zambui Express, but Zulu and the Zambui Express will be teaming up in an exciting tag team match.
Yes, my Zulu. You know, this is a syndicated show here, shown all over the world. I'm getting calls from all parts of the world in my office. While I'm here talking to you at the moment, my phone is ringing in my office, you know. But I want you to know one thing, that this is the best in professional wrestling when you watch Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Well, the Honorable One will be here with us during this exciting hour. We'll be having a lot to say to him. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this.
Texas All-Star Wrestling at the Bremont High School Gym, Saturday, April the 12th, 7:30 p.m. That card being sponsored by the Bremont High School Senior Class. Advance tickets available at the high school. Then in Temple at the Frank Mayborn Civic Center, Friday, April the 4th, 7:30 p.m. bell time. Advance tickets available at the Civic Center. Remember, kids' tickets for both those great cards, only $3. That night, you're going to be seeing Shotgun Danny Gage in action. Jerry Bush versus the returning sheepherder, Lord Jonathon Boyd. Al Gavigan versus the former Texas State Heavyweight Champion, the Masked Grappler. Then a mixed tag team match. Lydia Cortez and Buddy Moreno join forces against the USA Junior Heavyweight Champion, Golden Boy Mike Golden, and making her ring debut, Fantasy. Fantasy, I know you've got to be a little jittery before you have your first professional wrestling match.
Does that look jittery to you? You little Mike Jockey, I ain't jittery. I'm ready. I've got the confidence. I know what's happened. I've been trained by the best, and the best is the Golden Boy and Al Madril. But wrestling ain't what I'm going to do, because when I get that little dog that Buddy Moreno's got running around the ring with him, Bow Wow, I'm going to show her exactly how to pull, scratch, and tear, because that's what I'm going to do, baby, is pull, scratch, and tear.
Give me your assessment of Fantasy.
You understand that? Look at this woman. Look at this beautiful body here. She's in training every day. Runs 20 miles every day. And where's the other little fat pig? She's out there grazing right now. That's what kind of training she does. I'll tell you what, you Latino Buddy Morano, you bring that little fat pig with you, and this lady here and the Golden Boy, they're going to tear him up, baby. And you guys are going to go down for the 1, 2, 3, and don't forget it.
Mike Golden, did you teach Fantasy your pet hold, the figure 4 leg lock?
Well, we got a big surprise for Lydia Cortez. We've been into secret training, if you know what I mean. We shut the doors, locked the doors, and made sure nobody could come in there because we got a big surprise for that little girl. She made the biggest mistake of her life.
That's right.
You've got a very confident Fantasy preparing to go into the ring as a professional wrestler in Temple at the Frank Mayborn Civic Center. The Bremont High School Gym, Saturday, April the 12th at 7:30 p.m. Big card there sponsored by the Bremont High School Senior Class. Advance tickets available at the school. Then at Temple at the Frank Mayborn Civic Center, Friday, April the 4th, 7:30 p.m. Advance tickets available at the Civic Center. Remember, kids' tickets for both those cards only $3. Friday night in Temple, you're going to be seeing Shotgun Danny Gage in action. Jerry Bush versus sheepherder Jonathon Boyd. Grappler, the former Texas State heavyweight champion, versus Al Gavigan. A mixed tag team match, Lydia Cortez and Buddy Moreno versus Golden Boy Mike Golden and Fantasy, who will be wrestling that night. Making his return to Texas, the man that wreaked havoc in the Lone Star State for 2 years, Jonathon Boyd.
Did you say kids are $3? Do you know why kids are $3? Do you know why it's $3 for a Yankee bloody brat to get into an arena to watch somebody of the caliber of Jonathon Boyd, the bloody sheepherder? Because nobody knows whose the fathers are of the children here in the United States of America. And I'll tell you why they bloody don't know, because this is such a bloody loose country, it's unreal. Last time I was here, I was in a body cast, a hip cast, and a brace, and everybody laughed at me. Everybody said, I'm glad that you had that bloody accident. And I swore vengeance. I swore I'd get even with every sticking yank in Texas, and I'm going to bloody do it. You know, when I was here telling the sheepherders what to do, they went out and they crippled people and maimed people and broke arms. And I'm the one that told them how to do it. The only thing the sheepherders have got the only thing I've got that they don't have is the brain to control them. But now I have the muscle and the fitness and everything to get inside the bloody ring again and do what I told them to do myself. So any yank, I don't care who it is, I don't care if they got titles or not, when they get in the ring with bloody the sheepherder Jonathon Boyd, I'm going to go out there not to win the match. I'm not interested in winning. I'm interested in crippling, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Steve Stack with the Honorable Armand Hussein, the chairman of the board of H&H Associates, and we'll be talking to him in just a moment. Let me tell you what we've got for you this exciting hour of Texas-style wrestling from Texas All-Star Wrestling. You'll see the Cowboy Scott Casey going into the ring to meet the Golden Boy. And for you fans are wondering about, is Scott Casey the Texas Long Rider? Well, the Texas Long Rider is going to be in Scott Casey's corner in that match. The weightlifting contest, which I'll be talking to Armand Hussein about in just a moment, is here. Big Bubba going up against the Zambui Express. There's $4,000 on the line. Polish Power Ivan Putski is back. You'll see the Masked Grappler, Bruiser Brody, tag team action, Senor, Lucha, and more. Don't go away. The hour of excitement is about to begin. Honorable Armand Hussein, a weightlifting contest last week. Bubba couldn't pick it up because of the shoulder injury, but this week it may be just a little different.
Well, you say the shoulder injury, or whatever you may put it, you see, but what you can't understand, the fact that the Zambui is one of the strongest men in the world, and he proved to the world how strong he really was. Now, I didn't let him go to his full extent because I wanted him to save his energy for the match later on. But you see, the Zambui, he proved to the world what he said, and that was that he's one of the strongest men in professional wrestling, and he did just that.
Well, not only in the weightlifting contest today, you'll have the Zambui Express, but Zulu and the Zambui Express will be teaming up in an exciting tag team match.
Yes, my Zulu. You know, this is a syndicated show here, shown all over the world. I'm getting calls from all parts of the world in my office. While I'm here talking to you at the moment, my phone is ringing in my office, you know. But I want you to know one thing, that this is the best in professional wrestling when you watch Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Well, the Honorable One will be here with us during this exciting hour. We'll be having a lot to say to him. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this.
One look.
On the line for the mask of the Texas Long Rider. He's in Scott Casey's corner in the upcoming match.
Well, Scott Casey and the Long Rider, both are the same person. I know it, you know it, and the world at large know it. Don't try to insult my intelligence.
Well, I don't know that personally. There's the Long Rider in the corner of Scott Casey's battles a Golden Boy. Let's pick up the action.
But I don't think he can be in two places at once during the same match. And there's a shot of the Long Rider at ringside and Scott Casey up in the ring. Fantasy does not look amused.
No, she doesn't know what's going on here. She finally gets out onto the apron. She'll be going down on the floor. You remember last week, Fantasy got a big surprise as Lydia Cortez showed up. And now she gets another surprise as the Texas Long Rider and Scott Casey are together. Down goes the Golden Boy. Remember, there is a $5,000 bounty the mask of the Texas Long Rider. That being put there by Miss Fantasy.
Steve, last week they almost unmasked the wrong man in the grappler. Last week she got kissed, and this week she finds Sky Casey and the Texas Long Rider both as her adversaries. Would it be fair to say she's not having a good last couple of weeks?
I believe she's having a tough time as Casey is laid on the rope. They twist and they turn and they move into the corner. It's got Casey in front, and Casey pulls him out and throws him across the ring.
Steve, not taking anything away from this match in the ring, you've got two tremendously qualified wrestlers in the USA Junior Heavyweight Champion Golden Boy Mike Golden and Sky Casey. This match would be a main event anywhere in the world.
They lock up, they go to lock up, but it's Golden diving for the leg, and he doesn't get to keep it long as Casey comes up with a hammerlock. Don't forget, we're going to be in Corpus Christi at the Memorial Coliseum on Thursday night, April the 10th, with Texas All-Star Wrestling Television on the road. We'll all be there, and we hope to see you. And we're at the Wrestlers On in San Antonio every Monday night. Come on by. Casey thrown out of the corner by the Golden Boy.
That was a beautiful deal by Mike Golden. Mike Golden demonstrating a lot of wrestling here early, both with the drop toe hold, now throwing him behind with a hammerlock. Casey quickly reversing it. And now Casey's going to go from behind him, and it gets a count of two. Mike Golden almost got caught napping there, Steve.
Golden looking around to see where Fantasy was, as Casey was also watching. Remember, outside the ring, the Texas Long Rider. Casey holds on to the head of the Golden Boy. Coming off the ropes, Casey with a shoulder knocks down Golden. Over the top goes the Cowboy. In front, oh, he went over the top that time with a nice drop kick, and Golden floats out of the ring on the side where Miss Fantasy is.
Beautiful drop kick by Scott Casey. Mike Golden wanted the back drop, and Casey quickly vaulted him and drop kicked, and now Fantasy imploring Golden on. You have to wonder what kind of wrestling advice and strategy she gives Mike Golden. She comes in here in a valet, and she's quickly taking control of this relationship. You have to wonder what she does as far as giving wrestling advice.
Well, the Long Rider was right there also, and Fantasy points the finger at him. But back into the ring, we look at the Cowboy, Scott Casey, here on Texas All-Star Wrestling against the United States Junior Heavyweight Champion Mike Golden. This is a non-title match.
Both these wrestlers have a very similar style, as right now the two men are exchanging a test of strength in the overhand wrist lock. Fantasy jumping up on the apron, and as she distracts the referee, Golden takes him down by the hair and continues to choke Scott Casey. But both these men have a very similar style. Both men like to go into the lower body.
Golden may be biting the finger. And now,
Casey's returning the face.
Not on the fingers, though.
No, not on the fingers.
And Mike Golden felt out when he goes over and Fantasy tries to rub it well. Well, Golden setting on that bottom rope. There's Golden. He's still holding the backside.
It has to be frustrating for Mike Golden because he's wrestled very well so far in this match. But every time it looks like he's gaining an advantage, Sky Casey's reversed and taking the advantage away from him. And that must be very frustrating for Golden.
Golden with an elbow to the back of the neck of the Cowboy, Scott Casey. You see Fantasy outside the ring. There's the Texas Long Rider in the foreground as we pick up another camera angle. And back in the ring, it is Harry Chandler, the referee. The boots of the laces raked around the area of the eyes of Scott Casey, and sitting down here to my left, and he doesn't want anything to do with me for the simple reason that he has found out that Scott Casey and the Texas Long Rider are two different people. It's Gary Hart. I'm going to stay away from him. There's the Long Rider.
And Gary Hart looks as perplexed as everybody, as right now Mike Golden, beautiful vertical suplex on Sky Casey, the Long Rider watching at ringside, the cover by Golden, and a count of two before Casey rolls the shoulder. Steve, a moment ago, the referee was distracted by Golden. Casey was laying on the ropes, but Fantasy didn't slap Casey. I wonder if she's affected by the presence of the Long Rider at ringside.
Well, we'll just have to see what goes on during this match as Golden holds on to the chin of the Cowboy, Scott Casey, who is doing the bridge. Casey coming up. Casey coming up. Oh, and that had to be a little hair to get him back down so quick.
Yeah, but he blocked it from the referee's view, which is the important thing. The referee can only call what he can see. And I think Harry suspects it, but he, of course he can't call it because he didn't actually catch Golden in the act. Big forearm across the chest now by Golden. Now Casey starts to fire back with a shot to the midsection.
Golden catches another one to the midsection from the Cowboy Scott Casey. Casey with a double kick from those knees. Oh, boy.
Payback time for Mike Golden. He fouled Casey a couple of times. Now Casey's got the advantage. Wicked chop across the chest. Sends Golden reeling.
Well, the fans love it, as you saw him there inside the Guadalupe County Coliseum. Casey had a handful of the Golden here. That goes Golden across the ring. He comes in kicking. Casey really fired up. Here's Casey bouncing off the ropes. Golden knocks him back down.
Beautiful flying headbutt. And a fist drop. Mike Golden definitely roughing it up. He didn't have a lot of luck exchanging holds earlier. I think this is going to turn into a brawl if we're not very careful.
There's the fist. There's a big chop from Casey.
Now the two men. Oh, it looks like Golden may have fouled Casey. Oh, here comes Al Madril from behind on the Long Rider. Al Madril from behind on the Long Rider. Fantasy going after the mask of the Long Rider, Steve.
They're going after the mask of the Long Rider. Here comes Lydia Cortez after Fantasy. Madril is still holding on to the Texas Long Rider. Madril found him. Lydia Cortez is chasing Fantasy. Hey, things are completely out of hand. Casey is after Madril. There's Fantasy. There's Lydia. Fantasy back in the ring. Lydia Cortez has appeared again. And Fantasy bails out on the other side. The bell sounded. What can you say? They've just got to throw that one all out.
You ever have one of those months, Steve? Fantasy is right now. She hasn't getting any satisfaction from getting the Long Rider's mask. And Lydia Cortez is all over her like hair on a gorilla.
Well, Madril and Golden are holding Fantasy outside the ring, but I don't believe Fantasy wants any part of Lydia Cortez. As you see her there ringside, we're getting ready for the weightlifting contest to see if Big Bubba can get his money. Well, there you saw, once again, Madril coming out, trying to get that mask off, get the $5,000. We still don't know who the Texas Long Rider is.
Well, as you know, there's a $5,000 bounty on the mask, and that woman that went across the ring there, that's Buddy Marino's one that he's trained, Lydia Cortez, whatever her name is. But however, she know what I know. She'll just stay out of it and keep her nose out of our business because she's interfering and she's going to run into bad trouble.
Well, it seems to me the interference is coming from H&H Associates, Al Madril.
Well, let me tell you something. We are a reputable organization, and you know that. An equal opportunity employer. Give everyone a chance. You know that, Jack Stack. Don't ever forget it. And Al Madril is one of our men. He's going to remain one of our men. I want you to understand that so the world at large will know that.
Coming up next, it's the weightlifting contest. There's $4,000 on the line. Who's going to win it? We'll show you right after this.
Texas All-Star Wrestling, professional wrestling Texas style, back in the capital city at the Austin City Coliseum, Wednesday night, April the 2nd, 7:30 p.m. And don't forget, there's a big card at the Elgin High School Gym, Saturday, the April the 5th at 7:30. You can get those tickets at the Elgin High School Gym and from the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. Kids' tickets on both those big cards, only $3. At the City Coliseum, you're going to be seeing Ivan Putski returning to the ring wars in Texas. You're going to be seeing Al Gavigan versus the former Texas State Heavyweight Champion, the Masked Grappler. A bull rope match, Scott Casey versus Al Madril, and a mixed tag team match as the Golden Boy, Mike Golden, is going to have Fantasy as his legal wrestling tag team partner to go up against Buddy Moreno and Lydia Cortez. With me now, the Honorable Armand Hussein. Armand, I understand that one of their workouts, they invited you over to take a look at Fantasy, and you were impressed.
Of course, they invited the Honorable One over for some of my advice to give to Lady Fantasy, who is the finest thing that I know. What a gorgeous woman in all respects. And I give respect where respect is due. The body she has, you just wouldn't believe, Mark. But I'm telling you, one of the most fascinating women I've saw in my entire life. And she was working out her and Al Madril. She worked out with Golden, and I showed her a few points and everything like that. She's ready to go.
Now, the press releases I've received from Golden and Fantasy says she's going to be wrestling that she's working out and wrestling in a bikini. Is this so?
No. She works out in a bathing suit. The night that she wrestles, she will be wearing a bikini.
I have never seen a girl wrestler in a bikini before.
Well, you're going to see one. And by the way, I'm going to have some special security on the door to make sure you pay, Mark, to come to see Miss Fantasy. Because you see, with a body like that, you just can't resist.
I don't have to pay, but I think I would if I didn't get in free.
Well, before we show you this week's weightlifting contest, we want to take you back to last week. We've had so many requests to see it, and there was a great controversy, and it all began with the challenge from the Zambui Express to Big Bubba.
Anybody get in on this? Oh, wait. Can anybody get in on this, or is it just for sisters like him? What?
Well, he's no sissy, but if you got $1,000, you can get in on this.
I got plenty of money. Is anybody get in on this?
Well, there's the challenge being made now. There's $1,000 on the line. Anybody want to put up the $1,000? Bubba's going to weightlift with him.
I don't think you can lift this weight. I know it can.
Well, as you can see, the Zambui is there getting ready to make the challenge, and that low-lifed Bubba, the dog, he deliberately pushed him, and that within itself is a personal insult. It's very unprofessional.
Well, I think it was provoked. I think you had this plan to pound on the shoulders, Big Bubba, as you see there, so he couldn't lift any weight at all. Not even the first one. You didn't even want him to win anything.
You shouldn't say things like that, Jack Stagg. Be fair and impartial.
Well,
I'm a very noble man, and you know that.
But I want to get to that right now. Every week that I talk to you, you come out here, you make yourself so honorable, so honest to the people. I don't believe you're that way, and I'm going to show the people right now as we pick up this week's weightlifting contest.
Let me tell you one thing. It would lower my dignity, a man of my integrity and of pride and ability, to stand here before you and advocate a false canard.
Let's see what happens and let the people make the decision.
Okay, Armand Hussein, you have your money for the Zambui Express. Big Bubba, you got your money?
Well, the money was doubled this week. The first was $4,000. You had $2,000, and Big Bubba brought $2,000.
That's correct. That's correct. And there's plenty more where that come from. I want you to know that, Jack Stagg.
So there's $4,000 at stake. Let's go to the weights now and see where they're going to start.
Will be the first. They both warmed up before we went on the air.
Is Bob Dixon don't let one of his gentlemen give me some help on a lift-off if I need it like he did Big Bubba?
Yes, he will. All you have to do is ask for the lift-off help.
Jack Stack, who is these fellas here? I mean, who are they?
They're from the Olympic gym. They are spotters.
Are they some of Bob Dixon's staff?
Yes, they are.
Well, I don't have no objection. Dixon's a fair and impartial man. It's all right.
Okay, here we go. 315 pounds. Coming up with the lift-off. He's got it off, he's got it down, and he's got it up. Lift is legal, according to Bob Dixon or the Olympic gym. Now, Big Bubba.
Bob Dixon ruled it was a good. It's good if Bob Dixon said it.
Okay. Big Bubba.
He want me to come to the Olympic gym so people will come.
Now, let's go to Big Bubba. If you just stay back, please. Stay back.
You know, Steve Stack, I don't trust you.
I don't trust you either. Big Bubba has the 315 pounds, no problem. No problem. How's the shoulder, Bubba? Okay.
What's the decision? What's Bob Dixon's decision?
The lift is good, and we're going up to 405 pounds.
405 pounds.
Let me consult with our number one.
Well, now they have a little chat right here in front of us. I don't understand what he's talking about.
Tell these people to shut up while I'm consulting with our number one.
They're going to load the bar at 405 pounds. 405 pounds. Are you ready?
I have consulted with the honorable one. I'm going to pass on 405.
You're going to pass on 405.
Weight will now be 425 pounds.
425 pounds.
Do it no way. I ain't telling you to do it all you want to. You can't do it no way. We pay.
425 pounds. The bar below.
Let's go. How's the shoulder anyway?
The shoulder looked pretty good. Here we go.
We spent that money from last time.
425. 425. 425 pounds.
Come on, Big Bubba, get down there and do it.
Here we go. Armand Hussein. If you'll step back. Waiting for Hussein and the Zambui Express to get out of the way. They got that money in their hand. Bubba's got his money right there in his weightlifting belt. Now, 425 pounds. Is that right?
Oh, sharp. He can't do it nowhere.
Here we go. Bubba is ready.
Shut up.
425 pounds. He's got it up. There you go. There we have 425 pounds.
Somebody gave him some help. I don't like this. Bob Dixon, you gave him some help. I don't like it either. I don't like it.
Hey, you can ask. He's the head judge. He can hold on to the bar through the whole lift if he wants to by legal regulations.
425 pounds.
Hey, and I challenge you. I'll go first. 500.
What? What? 500 pounds?
There's your challenge. Load up the bar. 520 pounds. We're going to load the bar.
Load the bar. We've accepted it. Load the bar up now.
525 pounds.
Asked him, do he want another warm-up?
He don't need a warm-up.
Shut
Here we go. Here we go. Bubba. Here we come. Bob Dixon's there. He is holding on. Bubba's going for 525 pounds. He got it down. He is up. Bubba got it. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, legal lift. Legal lift, 525 pounds. Bubba, they stole your money.
Hey, that's all right. I was honest the first time, and these people, those guys, Zambui and Hussein, they'll be honest. They'll have their turn.
They stole the money, and I'm sure when Bubba says they'll get their turn, they've got something special coming for him. Well, Hussein, last week when Bubba had the shoulder injured, you come out there and pound on him with the weights and with the bone, and you kicked him. He was still honest enough to give you the money when he lost the contest. Here, he picked up 525 pounds. It was a legal lift. You stole the money, and I believe you stole it because you knew that there's no way the Zambui Express could pick up 525
Don't try to insult
pounds.
my intelligence, Jack Stack. Let me tell you one thing. I saw the Zambui himself lift 700 pounds, at least 3 repetitions.
Right now here we're going to show that Bob Dixon in no way helped Bubba lift this 525 pounds. And you watch close because
I intend to watch.
you were telling me earlier that you thought Bob Dixon lifted that weight. There's
Now
no
look
way.
at that. Look, just look at that. Look at Bob Dixon helping him back up there.
Was
Bob Dixon, a low-lifted dog that he is. I thought he was an honorable man like me. I'll never go back to his gym no more in life because he's nothing but a low-lifted, backstabbing dog.
Well, the Olympic gym is a nice place to go for everybody to work out, and I don't know that he'd miss you out there anyhow.
Look, I thought he was an honorable man like myself, with integrity and pride. And I even witnessed and went along with him because his record spoke for itself. up. But as I can see it now, he's no more than a low-life dog that he is. And stand there and help that Bubba lift that weight up and expect me to stand there and let him take my money. There's two things of mine that I have and I love. And both of them is my money. I don't allow no one to bother him. And if he thought he's going to take my money, Jack Stack, he's got another thought coming. I want you to understand that.
Well, you took Bubba's money. There was no way you had a right to take that money, but you got it. But remember Bubba's last words as he left, I've got something special for you.
I want to tell you one thing. The Zambu is the strongest man in the world. I saw him bench press 700 pounds 3 times. I got witnesses. Al Madril was there. The incomparable Gary Hart was there. The Zulu was there.
I'm sure you had a cameraman there, too.
And Aguilar was there, yes. All you got to do is get him, and he'll verify.
Just show us then.
Well, now, if you want to see that tape now, it's going to cost you money. We are a profit organization.
There's no way.
We are a profit, not non-profit. We are a profit organization, Jack Stack. Anything you want from H&H and Associates is going to cost you money. And I want you to know that this interview is going to cost you money. So just remember that. We are a profit organization.
Well, I'm sure that you'll never produce the tape where the Zambui...
If you put your money up, I'll produce the tape and bring it to your office, Jack Stack.
Stay tuned, because Polish Power Ivan Putski is next. Texas All-Star Wrestling returns to the City Coliseum here in Austin on Wednesday, April the 2nd, 7:30 starting time. Great lineup, but it's a pleasure to introduce to you Austin's own Ivan Putski, and he'll be at the City Coliseum on the 2nd. Ivan, it's good to have you back in Texas, especially with Texas All-Star Wrestling. You'll be at home in Austin on the 2nd.
Steve, it's a pleasure. You know, I'm excited to be here back in Austin. You know, I live here. My family's here. And, you know, it's a homecoming for me. I've been all over the world, all over the country, the biggest arenas in the world. I've filled them. I've sold them out. But, you know, it's time to come home. And I tell you what, pandemonium, thunder, lightning, this is my type of war. This is my type of fight. People in Austin, they've seen me. They've seen me on TV from Madison Square Garden. They've seen me everything. I'm looking for it. I'm excited. But most of all, I'm excited I'm back in Austin. You'll see, and you're going to find out what the Polish Power is all about. So come down, and I guarantee you, I will not lose.
Chuck Ewing and his son.
He may just be the strongest man in professional wrestling.
Don't ever let me hear you say that again. The Zambui Express is the strongest man in professional wrestling. And don't be trying to tell me about that low-life, good-for-nothing Polish Power.
Well, here he is now, ladies and gentlemen, the Polish Power, Ivan Putski. Polish Power, Ivan Putski returns this week to Texas All-Star Wrestling. The big man from Poland. Oh, look at the body on this guy. You talk about staying in good physical condition. You don't see him much better than Ivan Putski as he shakes hands with Jerry Bush as the referee, Harry Chandler, gives the instructions. Don't forget, Texas All-Star Wrestling Television on the road to the Memorial Coliseum in Corpus Christi on Thursday night, April the 10th. We're all going to be there. Come on out. It's television on the road, Corpus Christi. Bush feels the Polish Power as Putski just throws him down. Ivan Putski. Jerry Bush is no small man. In fact, his weight is probably very close to the same as Ivan Putski. Bush locks up, comes out with a side headlock. Putski reaches down, has Bush up, just drops him into the center of the ring. Ivan Putski showing Jerry Bush what it's all about. Ivan Putski, you get a good look at him. I cannot believe that Hussein and the Zambui stole Bubba's money. Bubba actually made the 525-pound press, but you better look out, Hussein and Zambui and Zulu, wherever you are, because Bubba has got something special for you. He promised that. Putski gets one to the throat by Jerry Bush. That's two of them now. And Putski
holding onto the rope across the way, and Putski gives him the evil eye. Putski in, side headlock by Bush. He goes for another one. Putski blocks it. He turns him around, and Putski pounds ahead of Jerry Bush, and he goes down. Bush dazed as he gets up. Putski lays one to the side of the jaw. Uh-oh. He says, would you like to see the Polish hammer? Here it comes. Wham! Almost caves the chest in. 1, 2, 3, and it's all over. And Ivan Putski, the Polish power, wins another one right here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Let's go to ringside now and pick up Mark Nolte as he catches Ivan Putski coming out of the ring.
Polish Power.
Over there. Anyone wants to...
Polish Power, Ivan Putski. I know you have to be disgusted from what you just saw up there in that weightlifting contest. Big Bubba does a legitimate 525, no money.
Tell you what, Bubba, you know, that's my man. I like strong guys. He's a clean-cut, good all-American boy, but I tell you what, Bubba, they're taking advantage of you, and I don't like that. This is one reason I'm here. So, those guys, they better watch it, because I'm going to give Bubba some good Polish advice. And if you know what I mean, that's going to be something real good. I'm going to teach him. I'm going to show Bubba so he can show some of these other guys that are taking advantage of him what Polish power is all about. And when he finds that out, he ain't going to need nobody's help after that.
Ivan Putski, who's training Bubba both inside the gym and maybe out on the street a little bit, too.
I'm going to teach him how to get mean. The man's not mean enough. But I tell you what, next time you see him, you're going to see a change.
Okay, Ivan Putski, the Polish Power, having quite an impact here at Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Well, Ivan Putski, the wrestler, has sold out more wrestling arenas than anybody, and he even sold out Madison Square Garden more times than the legendary Bruno Sammartino. That's the Polish Power, Ivan Putski, and it's a pleasure to have him with Texas All-Star Wrestling. Stay tuned, because the Grappler's next, right after this. Ed Barron's Texas All-Star Wrestling returns to the City Coliseum in Austin Wednesday, April the 2nd, 7:30 p.m. Bruiser Brody defends his Texas Cup against the Zambui Express. Austin's own Polish Power, Ivan Putski, will be there. In a mixed tag team match, Golden and Fantasy battle Buddy Marino and Lydia Cortez. Full rope match, Scott Casey takes on El Madril plus more. Tickets at the Coliseum the day of the match. Kids only $3. That's Texas All-Star Wrestling, City Coliseum, Austin, Wednesday, April the 2nd.
When friends don't stop friends from drinking.
Let's pick up the action in the ring.
No one is going to take that United States title off the waist of one Austin Idol.
That remains to be seen as we watch the Grappler hook. Danny Gage has him down for a count of 2. Mark?
Boy, that was a beautiful chicken wing with the leg grapevine on there. Now Gage goes right back. He crosses over and almost gets a 1 count himself. See, the Grappler is a former North American heavyweight champion. He's a former Texas State heavyweight champion. Everywhere this man has wrestled, he has won championships. And if I was Austin Idol or Bruiser Brody, I would be concerned, because this man's record speaks for itself.
Now the Grappler holding on to Danny Gage as we listen to Gary Hart just talking to himself over here on my left. Why are you all smiling?
You guys are talking about that the Grappler has a chance with Bruiser Brody. The Grappler has a chance with Austin Idol. The Zambui has a chance with Austin Idol. The Zambui has a chance with Bruiser Brody. The Texas Long Rider and Big Bubba are going to destroy Hart and Brody in the cage. It's all a bunch of gaga, man. I don't even think they'd have the guts to show up.
They'll show up. And I'm going to show up, and the cameras of Texas All-Star Wrestling are going to be there to bring it to you.
I'm going to say I told you so, okay? You remember the football bet we made?
I remember.
I said I told you so. I'm going to say I told you so again on Rabbit Sunday.
We'll wait and see. Don't forget, we're at the WrestleCon in San Antonio every Monday night. Come on by, 1704 Blanco Road. We'd like to see you. The Grappler holding on the shotgun, Danny Gage.
Very controlled, very methodical attack by the Grappler. He's wrestling this match his pace. He is setting the tempo. Steve, one thing to remember about the Grappler, this man was never beat for the Texas State Heavyweight Championship. He was disqualified, and in the world-class area, the title changed hand on a disqualification. He was never pinned by Brian Adias for that title.
What a big shot there. Here comes Shotgun Gage back with a forearm. Shotgun grabs him, whips him into the ropes, right to the midsection as we have reached the 5-minute point in this match from the Guadalupe County Coliseum in Seguin, Texas.
There's the way that the Grappler absorbed those two shots by Danny Gage and came right back. That's a sign of conditioning right there. The fact that the Grappler can absorb those shots and not even have any effect at all.
The Grappler reaches down, grabs the hair of Danny Gage. Now he reaches in, has him, slams him into the center of the ring. The Grappler going into the corner. He's up on the metal rope. Gage is coming up. The Grappler goes with a clothesline, and that should be it. It is 1, 2, 3, and it's all over as the Grappler takes care of Danny Gage and Gary Hart. The Grappler is very impressive in his second week here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
As I said last week, this man is a wrestler. He takes advantage of an opportunity, and he beats his opponents quickly.
Let's go down to ringside now and pick up Mark Nolte with the Grappler.
Another very impressive win for the masked Grappler, and you find yourself moving up the rank of contenders for Austin Idol's U.S. Heavyweight Championship.
You know something? It's like the last time I talked to this television program. I told everybody I was after one man. His name is Austin Idol. He's a U.S. Heavyweight Champion, brother. There's nothing I want more than that belt right now. Because they stripped me of my Texas Heavyweight belt because of a disqualification rule. First time in history. So to get my recognition back as the Grappler, as a man I really am around Texas, brother, I want that U.S. Heavyweight belt real bad. And I can taste it now. Austin Idol, I'm going to tell you something. I know you're a great athlete. I give you credit for that. But to be the man, you got to beat the man. You're the man, and I'm coming after you, brother, no matter what it takes. Nothing or nobody is going to stand in my way. Whatever it takes, I will be the new U.S. Heavyweight Champion. Because they got a name for you when you're the greatest wrestler in wrestling today. They don't call you a great wrestler. They call you the Grappler. Beat me if you can.
The Grappler, who is yet to be pinned in the state of Texas.
Well, the Grappler with another impressive victory, Armand, here on Texas All-Star Wrestling.
Well, that's what wrestling's all about, Jack Stack. That Grappler, I like him. I got my eyes on him.
Well, the Grappler and other great wrestling stars coming to Texas. They're looking for the United States Heavyweight Champion, Austin Idol. Well, this is the last week all you fans have to register for the beautiful Honda 4-Tracker 125 that will be given away courtesy of Cycle World Honda San Antonio and Texas All-Star Wrestling. The drawing to be held this Sunday, Easter Sunday, at the Hemisphere Arena in San Antonio with Easter Wrestling Star Wars. What a great lineup. And some lucky fan will win this beautiful Honda 4-Tracker 125. It could be yours, but you have to register. Remember, everybody is eligible, but if you're under 18 years of age, we ask that you have your parents or your legal guardian sign the entry form. We'll announce the winner next week right here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, and it could be you. Stay tuned, because coming up next, it's Bruiser Brody, the $1 Million Man. Texas All-Star Wrestling City Coliseum in Austin on Wednesday, April the 2nd, 7:30. Polish Power, Ivan Putski, Austin's own, will be there.
I'm excited, Steve. I'm overjoyed. I've been from coast to coast, Madison Square Garden, Boston Garden, all over the United States, but this is home. I'm back. And I tell you what, the people are going to get a thrill to see the Polish Power. They know my reputation in Austin, and they know what I can do. Come and see the Polish Power and see what it's all about. Be there.
You're driving home after a hard day's work when suddenly you're caught in Austin traffic.
Next, Armand, is probably the most popular video ever produced by Texas All-Star Wrestling and Center Stage Production. It features the $1 million man, Bruiser Brody. Many fans have written in wanting to see it again, and we're going to show it to them in just a moment.
Well, you know, $1 million is a lot of money to pay for a man, but I personally don't care for Bruiser Brody, you see. But however, that's Gary Hart's business, so I have no comment, you know.
Let's take a look now at Bruiser Brody. Well, I can't believe, Armand, how many men were carried out on that gurney during that video we just watched. And they may need the gurney and they may need the ambulance this Sunday at the Hemisphere Arena, because Bruiser Brody and Gary Hart are going to be locked inside that steel cage with Big Bubba and the Texas Long Rider, and the 2x4 cannot be inside the cage, and it may be Brody and Hart going out in the ambulance.
Big Bubba, the Long Rider. Gary Hart, the incomparable one, is a city boy. You know that. He's as slick as a eel. You know that. And he'll slide out of there so fast, it'll make your head swim, Jack Stack. You remember that?
Well, we'll see at Easter Sunday Wrestling Star Wars in San Antonio about that. Coming up now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're interested in this match, Armand. It's Zulu and a Zambui in a tag team match, and comes the big surprise for you.
Armand Hussein has a fistful of money there, Gary Hart. He came by it illegally as far as I'm concerned.
I have no involvement in that. I wasn't around when that happened. Armand must have felt he deserved the money.
Hey, here comes Big Bubba. Here comes Big Bubba coming into the ring. Big Bubba's going after Hussein. Hussein's got that money. Bubba wants his money back. They took it away from him when Bubba made the big lift earlier, and Bubba said, I have something special for you guys. You're going to be a gentleman sometime. He got the money. Bubba got the money, and he is gone. All right, Big Bubba.
Appears to me he's nothing more than what Armand said. He's a thief. A man run out there on television, steal money from Armand Hussein and the Zambui. He may think he looks cute now, but I think Bubba made one of the biggest mistakes he ever made in his life. Can't come out and steal money from people like these three dudes.
He got his money back. That's all. They took it away from him very unfairly.
Is 9/10 of the law.
That's right, and Bubba has possession right now as we pick up the magnificent Zulu and the Zambui Express. They are hot. I mean H-O-T. They can't believe that Bubba come out there and made amends.
Well, I sure would hate to be Al Gavigan or Jeff St. John right now. As Kareem, Mohammed, and the magnificent Zulu, you're right, Steve. These guys are a volcano ready to erupt. And there's just no way they're going to be able to stop them in this match, Steve. I have never seen two men as enraged as these two.
Forearm to the back of Jeff St. John by the magnificent Zulu. Armand Hussein is across the way. He's scratching or clawing at the eyes of Al Gavigan here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Don't forget, Texas All-Star Wrestling television on the road at the Memorial Coliseum in Corpus Christi on Thursday night, April the 10th. We want to see all you great fans in Corpus Christi for television time.
This Big Bubba is in a lot of trouble.
Bruiser Brody and Gary Hart better worry about Big Bubba and the Texas Long Rider in a cage.
One more time. I'd be very glad to tie my hands behind my back, blindfold myself.
They don't have a chance, man. They don't have a chance of touching me with Bruiser Brody in the cage.
We'll see inside that cage.
Steve, I'm going to see if I can get a reaction from Armand Hussein and his team after this match is over.
The head of Gavigan slammed into the turnbuckle. Here is Zulu taking him across the other way. Gavigan catches a big boot. Gavigan catches a forearm. Don't forget, we're at the Wrestlathon in San Antonio every Monday night. 8 o'clock. Come on by. We'd like to see you. Forearm to the back of Gavigan. But Gavigan tries to knock the Zulu back. Zulu's not feeling those punches at all. Big chop. Staggers Gavigan into the rope. Here comes Gavigan off the rope. Zulu in front. Clothesline. Down goes Gavigan. Now he begins to kick. That is the magnificent Zulu, and they're still mad because Bubba came out and got his money back, and they don't believe it. I wish you could see Hussein. He hasn't figured out what happened yet. There's a headbutt. Down goes Gavigan.
I guarantee you he'll figure out what to do when you take $4,000 of a man's money like Armand Hussein, the Zulu, and the Zambui. They don't look at that lightly.
400-plus pounds in the ring now. Oh, looky here. Wash. Well, 1, 2, 3. It's over. It's over as the Zambui Express and Zulu take care of Al Gavigan and Jeff St. John, as here's the slam on St. John, and now the Zambui says, here's one for you, and we don't have to pin him because the other man has already been defeated.
Right now, I'm out here with Armand Hussein and the magnificent Zulu and the Zambui Express, who I guess would safe to be saying are right about the answer.
Let me say one thing about you, Bubba. You come out here and stole our money from us when we won it fair and square. He ain't called an honorable one for nothing. That's because he's an honest man. That's why I associate with him. Big Bubba, you have made the worst mistake you ever made in your life. You'll never do that. No man, any man, will ever do the Zambui Express like that in Zulu, and especially the honorable one. Let the honorable one do some talking before I say something I'll be sorry for.
That lowlife that Bubba stole my money and ran off like a thief in the night. The world know I'm an honest man. The honorable one is how I obtained that title, because I'm a man of my word. The lowlife the dog stole my money and ran off here. But I want to tell you one thing, Bubba. As sure as I'm standing here with the Zambui and the Zulu, your day is coming in the very near future. Wherever you may be, you better look around, because the Honorable Hussein and the Zambui and the Zulu will be around.
That's right. And you better believe it, Big Bubba, because like I said, no man takes away from the Zambui Express. You are cursed the day that you were born for stealing our money.
Well, you're calling Big Bubba a thief and everything else. What Bubba did, he just got what was rightfully his. He won the contest. The $4,000 belonged to him, not to you.
I want to tell you one thing, Jack Stack, and you too, Bubba. You got that money. We may not get that money back, but we're going to get our money's worth. You better believe it.
There'll be more to that situation, I'm sure. You'll see it right here on Texas All-Star Wrestling. Coming up next, it's El Madril against Senor Lucha, right after this.
A lot of great Texas All-Star Wrestling coming back to the Hill Country in Elgin at the Elgin High School Gym, Saturday, April the 5th at 7:30 p.m. Advance tickets available at the Elgin High School office and from the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. Then, Texas All-Star Wrestling, professional wrestling Texas style, returns to the capital city, the Austin City Coliseum, Wednesday night, April the 2nd at 7:30 p.m. That night, you're going to be seeing Ivan Putski returning to the ring wars. You'll be seeing the masked grappler, the former Texas State Heavyweight Champion, versus Al Gavigan, a mixed tag team match, as Lydia Cortez and Buddy Moreno go up against the Golden Boy, Mike Golden, and making her debut as a professional wrestler, Fantasy. And in the main event that night, it's going to be Scott Casey versus Al Madril. Bull rope stipulations in that match. With me now, Playboy Gary Hart. First of all, Gary, I was the referee the other night when in the cage when Al Madril. You got to admit, he was fortunate to get out of that cage with a victory. And what he did with Scott Casey was unconscionable with the cowbell.
Well, what happened the last time ain't nothing compared to what's going to take place this time, because now you see it's all legal. He can take that cowbell and lay it upside your head till it roll like okra, brother. He can play that cowbell on your head like some of these people in Texas can play a guitar, and it ain't going to be no sweet music.
Well, Gary, talking to Armand Hussein a little earlier, he says he's been to Fantasy's training sessions. Have you been invited?
No, I haven't.
Well, they were talking earlier that she might be wrestling in a bikini. Is that appropriate ring attire?
From what I understand, Fantasy will be wearing a bikini when she wrestles.
Is that appropriate ring attire in your opinion?
For most girl wrestlers that I saw, they should wear coveralls, but now with Fantasy, With a body like that, brother, I'm a married man of 17 years, and sometime I think about her.
Our next match, I want to remind you that this is the final weekend. You'll have to register for the beautiful Honda 4-Tracker 125. The drawing to be held this Easter Sunday at the Hemisphere Arena with Easter Wrestling Star Wars. You could be the lucky winner, but you have to register. Armand, I want to thank you for being here with me on Texas All-Star Wrestling tonight.
Well, Jack Stack, the only way you can thank me is just send me that check to my office, and I'll make sure it's a one-party party.
I'm sure you'll be receiving the fee that you require. Coming up now, let's go to the ring and pick up the exciting Senor Lucha as he battles it out with El Madril.
We're going to stay with this one as long as we can. And Gary Hart, one more time, you and Bruiser Brody in the cage against the Texas Long Rider and Big Bubba, the shoulder of Big Bubba as well, as he's shown us tonight.
Tell you my plan for Rabbit Day. Gonna get up early in the morning, gonna get a big Easter basket from the Easter Bunny. Then I'm gonna fly down, and I am gonna get inside of a cage with Big Bubba, Scott Casey, Long Rider, whatever you want to call it. We are going to defeat them. I'm going to walk out untouched, and next week I'll be here on TV to say, I told you so.
We'll wait and see that. El Madril reaches in, pops Senor Lucha as we receive 1 minute remaining here at Texas All-Star Wrestling. Look at that head scissor. Nice move. Dives in there. Dives again. Madril knocked out across the way.
Boy, Senor Lucha is giving Al Madril a wrestling lesson, and Madril is furious. He cannot believe that he's been embarrassed the way he has been by this young upstart. And all the credit goes to Senor Lucha. What an incredible night he's having.
Well, it's been exciting for him, and it's been exciting for us. As El Madril climbs back into the ropes, he's saying he pulled my trunks. Just, you would have to be blind to think that El Madril had the trunks pulled. Time is about to expire. Mark's been a great time here in Seguin. We want to thank you for your commentary, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Steve. I can't wait to get to Corpus.
We're going to be in Corpus with Texas All-Star Wrestling on the road on Thursday, April the 10th. We want to see you there. Madril trying to shake hands, and he says one more time, let's shake hands. Senor Lucha is not wanting to do it. As they finally shake hands, there's a kick. Madril pops in one, and ladies and gentlemen, our time has expired. Till next week, Steve Stack saying so long for Texas All-Star Wrestling.